No, go.
Well, back here at Windsor Park, we're seeing the Portsmouth secondary school. They are 172 for the loss of 6 wickets, 172 for 6. J. Libla is on 22. Joshua Baptist is yet to score. So 172. That's an overall lead of what, Joe? 44. 44. So approaching the region where they can maybe declare.
Declare
But 5 to 4, 20 overs begins
at 4
at
o'clock.
4 o'clock. Maybe this game might be called off before the mandatory 20 overs are bowled, realizing that no other result
Can come out of it really. You can't get an outright result. So it's a question of really settling in on first innings, and well, we just have to
and
wait it.
catch is taken. J. Libla is out for 22, caught at deep mid wicket. They score 172 now for 7. J. Libla out. They're caught at mid wicket, and he scored 22 runs. So J. Libla, who was trying to push things along and getting himself out caught, but he had done the damage already, caught at mid wicket. and it goes back to the pavilion for 22, a quick fire 22. We saw Gilbert, Amiel Gilbert, scoring 96. He struck 15 fours in that 96. He was the foundation, the backbone of the Portsmouth secondary school innings. 15 fours. He faced 107 balls for his 96, 15 fours, and with a good strike rate of 89.7.
Very good strike rate indeed. 89.7. Falling just short of what would have been Andy a very good century.
Batted quite well, and he must be disappointed.
Oh yeah, to get
reach
to 96 and not go on to score the 100. It's really something else.
So that will be Nigel George. Nigel George has come out to join George John Baptiste. 7 wickets have fallen, 7 now for 172. 173, correction, so 173. The last wicket falling at 173 when J. Libla was caught off the bowling of Darren Tusse. So Darren finally getting, in fact he got an early wicket. He had Cassidy Larrock bowled for 2. So Darren Tusse, the captain, has come back out and has taken the wicket of J. Libla for 22. So the fall of wickets: 1 for 64 Latai, 2 for 88 Louvio Charles, 3 for 93 Cassidy Larrock, 4 for 128 Tyron Joseph, 5 for 158 Amiel Gilbert for 96, 6 for 163 Abby Burton for 5, and the last batsman out when the score was 173, J. Libla, caught at mid-wicket of the bowling of Darren Tusse for 22. So the game started at just around 10:15 this morning, and make it 2 minutes to 4 o'clock. Soon we will see the umpires signaling the mandatory 20 overs. In fact, is that the signal coming from Rogers Larrock?
That must be the signal coming from Rogers Larrock.
Yes, he shows his watch, so the 20 overs are going to begin. And our scorer Elijah Tulor will take note of that, and we will count down. So the first of the overs going to So we're about to see another bowling change. He's tried all his bowlers. Pick of them has been Joel Durant. Has bowled quite well. He has picked up 3 wickets. Shavin Ambo getting 1, and Darren Tusse getting 2. So that's the wicket takers. Darren Tusse 2, and we had Keenan Paris getting 1. But Gilbert, the danger man, out for 96, falling just short of a century. He batted quite well until that moment when he fell for 96. So 1 more run to be added to the total, moves on to 174. I make it 174 for the loss of 7 wickets. And can we differentiate between the 2 batsmen? Who is on strike now? Nigel George on strike. So George John Baptiste has got off this mark. He's on 1, and Nigel George now, both batsmen with blue helmets, about the same height. So we will have to really take our time to differentiate the 2 of them. As the bowler Addison James James, the bowler.
Addison James. Yes.
Addison James.
It is 4 o'clock, and it's going past 4. The first over, first of the mandatory 20 overs, has just been completed, and I'm beginning to think as to how much longer we'll see the continuation of this match.
So 19 more left. Yes, we'll have to count down. The countdown is on. 19 more left. I do not see any signs of a declaration. I think the Portsmouth Secondary School, they'll best be contented in batting out a few of the overs and really bring the game to a halt pretty soon.
Probably at that stage, if they were to complete their innings, then you would probably see, the game being brought to an end. Because I really do not understand the reason or rationale now to continue it anyway.
I can tell you, as a cricketer, you would want to come out there and bat. You would like to stay and bat it out and bat the whole 20 overs as a batsman. You wouldn't want to miss, because it's all.
If you're a Lord batsman, you would feel cheated if you've not been given the opportunity to at least get a knock or two out in the middle.
Yes, you feel that you have fielded, you have taken your son, and now is your time, in local parlance, to get your deuce in.
Yeah.
So now is your time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, if you may put it that way. So you have burnt in the sun earlier, and now you want to enjoy that last drip of the juice and enjoy it right down to the very end.
To the bone.
It looks like they've brought back Joel Jura from the southern end. And he has really bowled quite well. He's bellowing an appeal, but Rogers Larrock isn't too interested. I thought that he bowled quite disciplined. He kept his line and length. On a few occasions, as normal, he brought one or two short deliveries. But by and large, he has bowled an immaculate length and direction, the length, the line. He has spun the ball. He has been accurate for most of the times, and I felt that he was really the pick, and his figures will show that he really bowled quite well.
Picked up 3 wickets as well.
I think that's the first time we're seeing him from the southern end.
Yeah,
he bowled predominantly from the northern end. Good action of break bowler. Drawing the batsman forward. I think George is the batsman. Nigel George. So 2 overs of the mandatory 20 overs have been bowled. We're into the 3rd over. And it's 174 for 7. Floats. This one tries a leg break. You could see the back of the hand, but not well directed. They run 1. And we await a signal. Yes, a bye signal there by umpire Larrock. So they score the Portsmouth Secondary School 175 for the loss of 7, as the 3rd over 176 176 for 7, and 3 of the mandatory 20 overs have been completed.
17 more to go. Will it get down to the 17, or will we see?
At what stage the captains, the umpires, who makes the decision?
I think it's the captains, along with the umpires, who would probably make, because it's a youth game. It's played under the auspices of the youth division. I think both captains and the umpires are called upon to make a decision there.
Two more buys. Two more buys. They will bring the score to what? 178. 178 for 7. The bowling there now is
Bowler.
Darren Tuse. Darren Tuse, the captain. Captain, save your side. Well, he can't really do much now. He has contributed with the bat. He has picked up 2 wickets. He has kept wickets. He has done all that he could. But the PSS today, the better side, as this one beats the man at cover. They run one. They might think of a third. They take two comfortably. And in the end, they settle for two. And that's two. Looks like John Baptist. 2 to John Baptist. He moves on to 3, and the PSS total moves on to 180. 180 for the loss of 7. So 52 runs on first innings. And really it's now all academical right now, because the game certainly going to end in a draw, and the Portsmouth Secondary School, they will walk away with the under 15 secondary school still the championship match. And certainly they came out first in their zone. They were in a zone with the Northeastern Comprehensive School. There was the Zone A with Portsmouth Secondary. They came out first. Northeastern came out second. There was ITSS, and there was the Cassibru Secondary School. So Portsmouth, the leading side in the preliminaries, they came out first. And in fact, the bowler Joel Dura gets another wicket. He gets the batsman there trapped a leg before. So they lose their 8th wicket, the Portsmouth Secondary School. 8 for 180. 8 for 180, as the batsman making his way back is Nigel George. Nigel George. Leg before, bowled by Joel Dura.
New batter coming out is Hashim Francois, we've been told. New batter coming out, Hashim Francois. Walking very briskly out to the middle, Andy Carter. And certainly coming out and looking to come out and enjoy his innings, enjoy his knock.
Hashem Francois, big burly figure, takes his guard now from umpire Rogers Larac. Looks like he's taking a center guard. Let's see what he has to offer, as Joel Dura has picked up what, 1, 2, 3, 4 wickets so far. He's bowled quite accurately and economically, I should say, too. Bowled quite well. Here he is from the southern end. The batsman Francois opens the face of the batter. Chance for a run out. But the batsman there, John Baptist, makes his way in, and Hashem gets his first run. So Hashem Francois gets off the mark. He's 1, and the score now 181. 181 for the loss of 8 wickets, Joe.
181 for 8, and the intention obviously by the Portsmouth Secondary School is to let all their players have a bat. Of course, they have secured first innings points in this game, and I don't think it's going to go beyond this. Don't think there is an opportunity for an outright win.
Can Joel Jura get a fifer? He has taken 4 wickets so far. Get his bowling figures in a short while as he bowls a quicker delivery. The batsman George John Baptist is equal to it, plays it back along the track. The bowler fields and there is no run. Strip has played quite well today. No devil in the pitch. Even although there was a lot of grass on it, not the bare prong surface we usually associate with the Windsor Park. There's a lot of grass on the pitch, but certainly the bounce was even and a good surface to play cricket with for the youngsters.
Very good service indeed. A lot of preparation going into it. And,
so at how many gone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gone. Elijah, out of the 20. 5 out of the 20 completed, so 15 more. Will we go the full distance? Here is the batsman Hashem Francois and the captain there, Tousse, bowling in a different rule now, yes. Trying to bowl some off breaks. Was outside the off stump. Wicketkeeper doesn't hold on, but there's no addition to the score. 182 it is for the loss of 8. Remember that the North East Comprehensive this were dismissed for 127, with the captain Darren Tousse getting 65, Dre George getting 16, and in reply the Portsmouth Secondary School now 182 for the loss of 8, and certainly they're going to be the victors here this afternoon in the under 15 secondary schools championship match here at Windsor Park. Tousse tries a leg break and the ball beats the wicketkeeper and buys the signal. So 2 more buys, 2 more runs to be added. 184 it is, 184 for the loss of 8. Tousse has tried everything. The captain of the Northeast Comprehensive side. It's the end of the over. I think that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the mandatory 20 overs.
Probably
maybe
they'll go to 10, Andy.
I reckon maybe 10, and then they will call it off.
They'll make a decision at 10, because I don't see much more in it. There is a message that has come out, and it looks like somebody has come out with a message, I would think, and are we seeing the end of proceedings, Andy, for the day or for this match? Or was it a drink? Or was it a drink for someone?
Yes,
Your eyes are better than mine.
Yes, a drink for the bowler Joel Dura. Was bowled quite well. Joel Dura will get his figures. 4 for how many, Tulo? 4 wickets for. We'll get it in a short while. Huh? 13 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 39. So just going at about 3 runs per over. So that's very good by the young lad. He bowls a straight one outside the off stump, and John Baptist, who is on 3, allows it to go through to the wicketkeeper. Right arm bowls, try to bowl a flip on this occasion. Now is a moment where you, as a bowler, you experiment. There's nothing more left in this game. Try to get a 5th wicket. So it would be nice for him. But he has bowled quite well. A 5 would be quite adequate for him. He would be happy for that. Remember that day at the Windsor Park, taking 5 wickets, albeit on a losing end, but still your 5 wickets, you will always remember that. So another over has been completed. I make it 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gone. 13 more to go. I think Hashem Francois, he wants to get into the act. He's on 1. Looks very much like Cornwall up there. And we saw what Cornwall did against Sri Lanka.
No slouch with the bat.
Absolutely not. He put some bat onto ball and really took the West Indies from some precarious positions and brought them to positions of strength. Darren Tussey strikes Francois on the pad. Francois stands up there as if telling the umpire, Matthew, you can give this out. And Matthew obliges and just watches as Tussey bowls. The batsman plays straight to the man there at short extra cover, and there is no run. 184 for 8. Floats this one, and he's bowled. Yes, Hashem Francois bowled by Darren Tussey for 185. 184 it is. 184 for 9. Hashem did not really give this chorus too much work. Hashem Francois bowled there by Darren Tussey for 1. And the score now 9 wickets down for 184, the Portsmouth Secondary School.
Very much the end in sight of the innings there of the Portsmouth Secondary School. 184 for 9. The last batter coming out. The last man coming out. We'll have to wait and see what his prowess will be. But
last one. Brad, he says? Brad George? Yeah. So 9 wickets are down. Dura has 4. And Darren Tussey has 3. That's 7. And then you have Shavin Ambu with 1. And Kenan Paris with 1. So 9 wickets have fallen. 184 for the loss of 9. And the Portsmouth Secondary School, they are going to hoist that trophy this afternoon. The under 15 secondary school sports division final here at Windsor Park. Lovely conditions prevailed right through. No disturbance whatsoever as Tussey bowls there to the batsman who is Brad George. He swings at, misses. Plays it there to square leg, and Noah Davis is there, and there is no run. So an over has come to an end once more. I think that's number 8
over completed.
So 12 more to go. 12 more overs to go.
I think that the match will probably conclude at the end of the innings of the PSS, because for me it wouldn't make much sense to continue. You'll probably go for another 2 overs, give and take, get it out, get 10 overs out of the way. You'd have to take into consideration 2 overs probably for change of innings, Andy.
Yes, Joe. I think maybe that's the way this game will end. It would be nice that if Jura can get a fifer, it would be nice. He has taken 4 so far. His captain Darren Toussaint following up on his 65. He has picked up 3 wickets so far. You can see Jura really making a concerted effort to try to get his 5th wicket, trying a faster one, trying to get through the defense there of George John Baptiste, but to no avail. Flashes this Brad George, and he can't score. Ball goes through to the wicket keeper. 185 for it. 185 for it. The nod of approval, because Elijah Tulo, our scorer, statistician, everything and one, is watching the monitor as this one is struck by Brad George for 4. He gets off the mark with a boundary, and the Portsmouth Secondary School now 189 for the loss of 9 wickets. So another over has been completed.
Over number 9.
So 11 more to go. 11 more overs. And it looks we're seeing some action down by the pavilion. I think the coordinator of this cricket match today was Thomas Kentish. I think I'm seeing Thomas Kentish and the third umpire Jerry Chenard over there. It might not be too long before we see the match being called off. So maybe after 10 overs of the mandatory. In fact, you can see him waving. You can see Thomas Kentish waving. I think he's trying to get the attention of the umpire. But Marcel Matthew hasn't really quite got the signal. 2 more runs, in fact. 2 more runs there to it is Nigel France, not Nigel, no, George John Baptiste. So that brings him on to 6. And the total now 191 for 9. So we may see this game ending after this over, as this one is turned to short backward square. Fieldsman is in the way, and there is no run. So North Eastern Comprehensive School sent into bat by PSS, dismissed for 127, of which Darren Toussaint got 65. Dre George, as this one he cuts down to backward point. This one will go pretty close to the boundary. In fact, it crosses the line now. 4 runs there. Moves the Portsmouth Secondary School closer to that 200 mark. They're 195 for the loss of 9. And 4 runs there to George John Baptiste. He'd be happy to know that he has got into double figures. So he's on 10. Toussaint bows a full toss, pushes it on the offside. The fieldsman is deep, coming in from backward point, and George John Baptiste will get 1 more. 11 he is, and 196 for the loss of 9. Maybe they would be happy to post 200 for sure.
That would be a landmark, of course.
I think the Portsmouth Secondary School lads, they batted around Amiel Gilbert, who scored 96, 15 fours, 107 balls, and certainly he really was the backbone, the foundation of this mammoth score. So 2 more runs there. In fact, 1 run short signal there by Marcel Matthew. So 1 shot, it will be 197 for 9, and the 1 run will go to Brad George. George will move on by 1 to 5. He was signaling the 1 shot. So the 1 run to Brad George. Alright, so George is on 5 and John Baptiste on 11. 197 for 9. Right. And I think uh, Paris. So there will be not of no five for Joel Ambo. We have Paris, Keenan Paris. So I think 10 more overs left, Joe.
10 more overs, 1 wicket to fall in the innings of PSS. And really, could we see the continuation
Yes.
of the match after the conclusion of this innings? This is what we will really be wanting to see.
So one more run to John Baptist. He moves on to 12. And the Portsmouth Secondary School 197 for 9. A landmark of getting 200. They will remember that they got 200 in a final. As Paris Bulls, they from mid wicket, they run 1 and they'll settle for 1. So 1 will be to George. He will move on to 6. And the Portsmouth Secondary total 198 for 9. So it has really been a beautiful day, lovely day for cricket. Youngsters were quite excited to play in the big gongs, the Windsor Parks. As this one, George John Baptist turns down to backward square, they run 1, they'll come back for 2, and they'll settle for 2. So 2 more to John Baptist. He'll move on to 14, and the 200 is posted. 200 for the loss of 9. The Portsmouth Secondary School, and they have gone way past the 127 scored by the North East Comprehensive School. So another over comes to an end, counting down. So 9 more overs. Looks like they're going the full journey, full quota of the 20 overs. No sign of. Saw earlier that Thomas Kentish was given a signal, but they have decided, well, in the interest of cricket, the more cricket you play, the better. Don't worry with the results. Just play some cricket. So 9 more overs to go. We will maybe go right down to the wire with the 9 overs, or when the side gets out. So Darren Toussaint still bowling. He has picked up, what, 4 wickets or 3 wickets? 3. Trying to get a 4th. Brad George showing his prowess with the bat. They have batted quite beautifully, the PSS boys around Gilbert, but you can see that they have a lot of them, even the batsman coming in last there, Brad George, looking like an accomplished batsman, coming forward and stroking the ball. 201 for 9.
201 for 9. Innings, end of innings in sight. Andy Carter, I think at the conclusion of the innings of PSS, that would be the end of proceedings for the day out here.
Two more runs to be added by signal there by umpire Marcel Matthew. 204 for the loss of 9. As another over comes to an end, so that's his 12 gone.
I don't see much reason in continuing the proceedings out there once the innings of PSS has been concluded. But we do not know under what instructions that the umpires are operating.
2 more runs there to Brad George. Moves him on to 9. 206 for the loss of 9. The bowler Shaviv Ambo. And you can see the batsman, or the number 11 batsman. I find him to be batting quite responsibly, not playing correctly. Brad George, he's on 9. Josh John Baptiste is on 14. Gets a short delivery and pulls it away. The fieldsman uses his legs but fails in his attempt, and the ball beats him into the mid-wicket boundary. So 4 runs there to Brad George. He moves on to 13, and the Portsmouth Secondary School 210 for the loss of 9. And certainly Brad George looking the part.
Looking the part, and
No, number 11.
enjoying his inning out there. He sweated earlier on for it. He's earned it.
I find him to be looking quite competent, and maybe in the next season, if he's still around, he would want a promotion over Hashem Francois.
Oh, certainly.
So we come to the end of this final. The Northeast Comprehensive School, they've had a good run. They have had the most prolific batsman in Darren Tousse. Again, he produced today over 400 runs in the tournament, and certainly very good prospect, together with Amiel Gilbert, who scored a brilliant 96, 15 fours of 107 balls, and he really batted quite splendidly here at Windsor Park. We saw the good contributions coming from J. Libla getting 22. D'Artagnan Latai, who had a first wicket partnership of 64 with Gilbert. He scored 19. Captain Luvio Charles chipped in with 13. J. Libla, a quick fire 22. He was really attacking the bowling, and certainly the foundation was laid there by D'Artagnan Latai and indeed Gilbert. Amiel Gilbert. Remember that name. This boy is under 15, and when you can score a century and score these high scores, that means you have the temperament. You've got to harness this sort of skills and ensure that these players move on to the under 19 level and keep on improving.
Certainly, as they go along.
One more run to Josh John Baptiste. He moves on to 15, and the PSS now 211 for the loss of 9. So I've lost count of the overs. I think just about 13 gone. But Brad George is getting himself in good position. You can see him, I think, along the line. I think with a little bit of advice, he maybe can go up to be a middle order batsman, number 5, 6 thereabout, because he seems to be getting his feet in the good position, playing good shots, driving, and I think it's not where the number you bat is what you can produce. I always believe, even though you're coming in at number 11, you have to apply yourself, and I think Brad George is applying himself has the correct approach. Just wanted to know too much about it, as soon as the commentators curse, he pushed a bit away, bat away from the body, but still has a compact stance. Let's watch him again. Pushes it back. Maybe a bit more pace would give him a little bit more difficulty, but he handles the slow bowling of Darren Tusser quite well, and the over has come to an end. So 14 gone, counting down, 6 more to go, and make it what? 4:36. It has been quite an interesting day's play here. Maybe the Northeast Comprehensive, they did not quite live up, did not get enough runs to put the Portsmouth Secondary School under pressure, but the PSS guys, they bowled well, and they're quite rewarded now with Gilbert getting that 96 and really steering them to the championship, and they will get this big trophy a bit later on this afternoon.
Yeah.
So, but Joel has converted himself to a medium pacer. He's running in quickly now and decides, and this one will go down to the boundary for 4 buys. 4 buys. So 215 for 9. He has changed his style. Why would he change his style? He had a successful style of 4 wickets so far, and now
Bowling
the
spin.
frustration has got to him, and he's trying to bowl quicker on a docile pitch. I think he has changed his mind again and reverted back to his off spin, which I think that is his style of bowling. Yes, he floats this one up, and that's a much better delivery, Joe.
Certainly a much better delivery, keeping the batsman at bay. He's got a lot of variance to say. Off spin to slow medium. And certainly
I think Dura has been frustrated there by the batting of Josh John Baptiste and Brad George, and he really expressing that frustration because the 5th wicket, the fifer, has eluded him. He has tried 1 or 2 medium pace deliveries. He resorted back to his off break bowling, but these 2 batsmen quite defiant.
very defiant indeed, and it can only be now with what about 6 overs to go?
I make it 5.
5 overs to go. It can only be. The only reason why the players are out there is to really to continue the innings of the Portsmouth Secondary School.
He's out. So Tusser has taken the final wicket. We have seen the batsman there, Brad George. Brad George here, leg before wicket, bowled by Darren Tusser. Leg before wicket, bowled Tusser. And Brad George getting what? 13? Brad George 13. And they dismiss for 215, I make it 215 all out, and George John Baptiste remains not out on 15. George John Baptiste not out on 15, and the Portsmouth Secondary School 215 all out. We'll get the bowling figures for you in a while. So I think, Elijah, we're going to call it out for me. We'll start with Joel Dura, the pick of the bowlers. Joel Dura bowled 16 overs, 5 maidens, 44 runs, 4 wickets. And then we had Darren Tusser, 17.1, 4 maidens, 54 runs, and 4 wickets also. So these were the two leading wicket takers for the Northeast Comprehensive. Joel Dura, 16 overs, 5 maidens, 4 for 44. Darren Tusse, 17 overs and 1 ball, 4 overs, 4 for 54. We had Shaviv Ambo chipping in with 1 and Keenan Paris getting the other. So these were the leading wicket takers. We can tell you that 127 scored by the Northeast Comprehensive earlier this morning after they were invited to bat by the Portsmouth Secondary School. They were dismissed for 127, and it was only Darren Tusse with 65. He scored 9 fours and a 6 of 55 balls. Dre George 16. Shaviv Ambu 10. These were the 3 leading contributors for the Northeast Comprehensive. For the Portsmouth Secondary School, we had D'Artagnan Latai 3 for 24 of 6 overs and 4 balls. Cassidy Larrock 3 for 27 of 8. Amiel Gilbert 8 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 22. Abby Burton picked up 1 for 8 of his 2 overs. Brad George 1 for 7 of his 2 overs. And the Northeast Comprehensive School dismissed for 127 of 31 overs and 4 balls. And in their turn, the Portsmouth Secondary School, they were dismissed just about 4:40 p.m. for 215 runs, and their leading contributor was their vice captain Amiel Gilbert, 96 runs he scored, 15 fours of 107 balls, a strike rate of 89.7. He was supported well by Jay Libla, who scored 22. D'Artagnan Latai scored 19. Captain Luvio Charles chipped in with 13. And in the end, Brad George chipped in with 13. And John Baptist was left not out on 15. And the bowling for the Northeast Comprehensive School, just to repeat the figures: Joel Dura, right arm off spinner, about 60